He's been very patient and kind to let me slip in here while he's been waiting for his spot. I want you to put your hands together for your next comedian. Give a nice warm welcome to Huey, Stewart!
I don't usually bring a set list with me, but I've been drinking for quite a while. Here's my one topical joke for the evening. So it's primary season, right? So I'm not going to say Rick Santorum has had sex with farm animals, but I'm going to say he really, really wants to. Because I saw that speech he gave where he says, you know, if we let gay people marry, the next logical step is people wanting to have sex with farm animals. And I immediately said, well, obviously he never took a logic class. But on top of that, the tone of voice he had was exactly the same point as if any girl I've ever talked to, I said, well, you know, if we do that, the next logical step is a threesome. Meaning I really wanted a threesome. So that means he really wants to have sex with farm animals. What scares me about that is every political candidate in the history of the world always hires a guy to watch their vices, every single one. Bill Clinton literally had a guy on Pussy Patrol. That's a 90s reference and a 90s joke, so it works. And then George Bush must have had someone keeping him from like sniffing markers and licking wallpaper because Salisbury tastes like Salisbury. So there was a guy watching that. That to me means that Rick Santorum literally has a guy at the front of his bus like, oh shit, there's a panic! Hold it down! Hold it down! Get the pills! Get the pills! That's my only pleasure, dude. You're welcome. So I saw a guy the other day, I saw a hipster, if you don't know what hipsters are, you're about to. I saw a hipster wearing glasses, and his glasses had a glass in them. So I'm beating the shit out of this guy, right? And I'm like, thank you. He's like, why are you doing this to me? I was like, I'll tell you what, it wouldn't be happening if you wear actual fucking glasses. You don't punch a guy with actual glasses. I wore glasses or contacts since the first day of 6th grade. So I had to get them because I couldn't see the chalkboard. Many of you I've seen wear glasses. Probably a lot of you have contacts. So if you wear them and you don't need them, you're a fucking asshole. Exactly. Because you wouldn't do that with anything else. There's not another one. You would never see a guy with like cuff crutches and you're like, man, that guy's got like arm bling. That matches my skinny jeans really great. Like, hey, everybody, check it out. Matches my oxygen tank, don't it? Doesn't fucking happen. I'm mildly intolerant of things. That's because I was raised redneck. I'm not practicing. I do still celebrate the high holy days like Daytona, 4th of July, you know, WrestleMania. The big ones, victory we call it. But I grew up when suddenly being a redneck was kind of a cute, funny thing to do. Aren't they cute with their little flannel shirts and truck nuts? They're just adorable. But I never saw that kind of like, I remember there was a Jeff Foxworthy joke that said, if your porch collapsed and more than 3 dogs died, you might be a redneck. See, I didn't know those kind of rednecks. I knew more of if the cops showed up and they shot 3 dogs while they're investigating a meth lab explosion, you might be a redneck. Those are the ones I knew. Like I mentioned, tough crutches. There was a kid I grew up with that had to use crutches to walk. He had been obese his entire life, never was able to walk right. I met him some years later, and he was skinny as this mic stand. I mean, just lost hundreds of pounds. I said, how did you do that, man? Good job. You look great. And he's like, crack. I started smoking crack, and I lost all that weight. I was like, wow, rednecks. Where narcotics are a diet plan. That's the kind of rednecks I do. And he smiled and fucking proved it, too. know, I never looked at him like, damn, I wish there's matched my LA Gear lights at the time or whatever. You know, we did have a kid in a motorized wheelchair. I did kind of envy him, but that was more about lazy than, you know, he had a muscular problem. He'd let me ride into class sometimes. So it worked out. That's a totally fucking true story, too. That's the sad part about that, too. The other funny thing about growing up redneck is racism, man. The rednecks I knew were racist as hell. They would literally, I mean, anything. If you dealt with money, you were a Jew. Like, that's just how they were. You know, you were a Pollock or a Dega or a Briar. I didn't even know what the hell that meant, but it was funny. It sounded funny, so I liked it. And if you were lazy and shiftless and showed up 15 minutes late all the time, you know, yeah, you were a union worker. Yeah, I know what you thought I was going to say. Yeah, you know what happens when you assume? You make a conclusion without any corroborating evidence. Right. But I finally had to analyze myself because a friend of mine said they were going to buy a lawn ornament. And they were worried that if they bought a lawn gnome, it would get tipped over all the time. And I said, well, if you want a lawn ornament that won't tip, buy a lawn jockey. That would be the best one. And I realized that all that racism had kind of gotten into my head, so I had to get over that, but it went the other way. I started dating a black girl for a while, and I'm trying to get over this, and she shows up one day, and we're going to watch a movie, and she lays on my bed, because I had roommates. She lays down, she's like, hey, these are the whitest sheets I've ever seen, because I'm clean. I got a girl coming over, I cleaned. She's like, these are the whitest sheets I've ever seen. I'm like, I'm sorry? I got some colored ones. I got some non-white ones in the closet, if you want them. But she said, why would that matter? I was like, man, she can glare. I don't know. But we got past that where, we got into our relationship pretty well. Enough that she felt comfortable telling me she had some special sexual needs. She was into like S&M. She was a submissive. You know, she really got into that. I was like, all right, cool. You know, I'm all down with that. And she was like, but she called me master, and I feel like a racist. And then eventually she wanted to bring some whips and shit, and I sell out, man. I get into character. I don't need to fill out that goddamn hospital release. Like, so I was whipping this black girl. Like, I don't need to say that. And then we finally kind of got a little where she wanted me to call her a slave, and I was like, indentured servant. That's as far as I can go. I'm sorry. All right, that's my